Bonnie, you were here in front of some interesting equipment. What is this?
This is called an automated guided vehicle, AGV, and this carries the containers between the ship and the stacks. We have cranes that are 63 cranes that move around the terminal, and this vehicle carries the container between the ships and those stacks.
Free boat tours of the harbor keep visitors engaged at a recent Long Beach event which showcases the city's mission to become the world's first zero-emissions port.
Well, you're here at the Greenport, and what you're seeing today is our Greenport Fair. And again, that's part of our promise to the community that we've made, community engagement. And we're telling our story about our quest to reduce emissions or harmful emissions from port operations, and of course our goal of zero emissions. So I think we have a very good resume of our environmental social governance.
If we were to walk around here and look at some of the sites, what would we see?
Well, you see a great harbor complex, a great city, the city of Long Beach. We have the Queen Mary, and we have these social events for the public. And then, of course, we have the largest container gateway in the country. So it's a good mix of community, social engagement, and of course, moving the nation's commerce.
When did the effort to do all this start?
Well, I think the Port of Long Beach started with its Greenport policy back in 2005. It was a 5-point plan of action, one of which was community engagement. This is a big event for us and a big event for the community, and I think the progress that we've made, you can certainly see the display here.
While visitors ride around the fair in the free trolley, others meet dockside to enjoy a complimentary mini tour of Long Beach Harbor. The tour is free for the first 600 passengers, so lucky participants wait in line to board, while an exciting fireboat demonstration in the background offers them a thrilling send-off.
We're here to see the sunrise. Everyone that's in the program takes some photos for an hour and a half, and then they submit their top 3 photos, and this is a program that we partner with the Arts Council.
The tour includes an informative guide who offers facts and historical anecdotes about the harbor. Of course, the best part of the voyage is encountering what has become an icon for this famous harbor. Cruising underneath some of the massive cranes, which dwarf the colorful cargo containers below, offers passengers a glimpse of the important role the harbor plays in the world economy, and why this port is such a crucial hub in maintaining LA as a world-class city. We had some fun on a special tour that went around the place to spotlight some of the points of interest. What are they?
Well, if you tour the harbor on one of our port tours, you'll note that those who are familiar with the harbor complex that's going back 15 years ago, much different. It's not perfect, but it's certainly much cleaner in terms of water quality and air quality. You don't see black smoke coming out of container vessels anymore, not like you did in the past. So I think we're in a very good trajectory to, again, really transform the operations to a more sustainable, friendly operation, not only for the community, but for the state of California overall.
At Harry Bridges Memorial Park, participating organizations showcase the harbor's iconic symbols, while a nearby display spells out some of the goals of the harbor planners' ambitions. And with their sights set firmly on electric power for both trucks and rail, the Long Beach Container Terminal rolls out its impressive fleet of zero-emissions vehicles. How do you get it around? I mean,
Right now it's on a flatbed.
Oh.
This normally is on the ground, and the tires are on the ground. And in fact, if you watch the video, you can see we have 102 of these at our terminal right here in Long Beach. It's the Long Beach Container Terminal.
who drives them? Not you.
These are not driven. These are automated guided vehicles. They drive on their own. They respond to transponders in the road, and that are, it's called a frog system, free range on grid. And they drive around and pick up the containers from the ship, move them to the cranes, or then they take them from the cranes and move them to the ships.
So when we're working the ships, loading and discharge with those big cranes that you see over the vessels, they go from that crane to the back of an automated guided vehicle, which is part of a fleet of 102 of these, which is operated off of transport software, and it's an autonomous software that when the containers are placed on its back, the system is telling it where to go, what to do, turning radiuses, speeds, and routings, bringing it into the yard where an automated stacking crane will then take it off of the automated guided vehicle and place it into its position in the yard. This is an autonomous transport system for LBCT.
How do they get around?
Generally, we have within the field, as it's referred to, if you were to look at our operation, there's a grid of in-ground transponders that are drilled into the pavement every 2 meters, kind of in a grid across this probably 50-acre piece of property that the AGVs roll through. And then there's an antenna on each end of these vehicles, and from there it knows where it is and how to get to where it needs to go. Each transponder has a coordinate in the software, and the software from our server room is speaking to each vehicle wirelessly every nanosecond, telling it where to go, what to do, and again, turning radiuses, speeds, collision avoidance of the other AGVs that are operating around it. So it's a really technical, really sophisticated transport system.
To make them even more sophisticated, not only are these vehicles autonomous, but they happen to be electric as well, making them an asset in the fight against climate change.
So these AGVs are also zero emission. They're battery operated. Believe it or not, each one of these vehicles have a 12-ton battery pack in it. And that battery pack is good for somewhere between an 8 to 12 hour duty cycle, but then it goes through an 8-hour charging cycle. But we don't charge the vehicle. That battery pack, there's a completely automated process where the vehicle's taken out of the work queue, dispatched over to what is the largest battery charging and exchange station in the world that's located at our facility, where in that building it'll pull out the spent battery, put it into an open charger, take a fully charged battery, and in less than 5 minutes, have it back out into the workplace.
Other vehicles on site underscore the zero emissions theme. This vehicle proves that even semi-tractor trailer trucks can be both fully efficient and fully electric.
This is one of our EV trucks. We just came out with this system right here, and we're going to be moving forward to extra trucks that we're going to have for us electric. So as you can see, it's a tractor trailer. We have equipment on the back, and what we do is it's a good power charge. It'll last about 8 hours charging. It takes overnight, and we plug it up, and then we'll run the whole day. I'd say we do about 200 miles a day on this truck, and it's really efficient, and it's quiet. The drivers like it, and they just take their time, and it has great power. And the batteries is probably at about 700 to 800 pounds of more weight on the truck, which is not that bad, So we're just here enjoying ourselves, and we also have other equipments over here, which is a forklift and a rail car that we bring in rails to the container for scrap metal.
The display of zero emissions vehicles is just one of the many important lessons that visitors take with them after this enlightening event. And to keep the young ones interested, the Long Beach Aquarium of the Pacific makes an appearance. With its rolling aquarium on wheels, youngsters can enjoy the hands-on excitement of a touch tank with actual marine life and educators on hand to explain things. Since water is such a precious resource, Long Beach Utilities makes quite a splash, offering free drinks of their delicious tap water to parched visitors and their equally parched pooches. But the most refreshing water tale comes from a city technician who views the Long Beach port from an entirely different perspective.
So a lot of times when people come into the port, they see all the cranes and they see all the boats and they see all the shipping. They don't realize there's a whole team maintaining just the infrastructure in the port. So we got to keep the street lights on, keep the streets open, the buildings running. Part of that infrastructure, though, is underwater. And so there's another team of us who specialize in working on the infrastructure underwater.
What do you do underwater?
Well, that can change a lot from day to day. Mostly we maintain seawalls, doing cathodic protection type stuff. We also maintain the bottom of all the port-owned vessels, including the new beautiful fireboats for the fire department in Long Beach. We do some salvage and recovery. We clear navigational hazards, do welding, burning when needed. It's kind of a different deal all the time.
Busy guy, but I don't think you do this by holding your nose. What is that thing down there?
So this is one of the newer helmets that they have out. This is a Kirby Light 77. It's a stainless steel model, so it keeps us more protected, allows us to keep our head dry, water out of our ears and face, and it gives us full communications to the people on top as well as other divers in the water, and it allows us just to stay down there longer, more comfortably.
The highlight of this environmentally friendly gathering is a showcase of maritime heroics. With a small harbor boat on the water and a Dolphin helicopter hovering in the air, the skills of the Coast Guard are put on full display. Spectators watch as a brave member of the Coast Guard is plucked from the water below and pulled right up to the helicopter in a thrilling demonstration of heroics. This exciting rescue, combined with other afternoon features like the exciting new electric vehicles, are helping to make Long Beach a zero-emissions leader.
Well, I think we're displaying to the community the latest in technology, sustainable developments and construction and sustainable growth. And of course, the big key here is this port will be zero emission in accordance with the goal that we set out back in November 2017.
And after that date, you are setting up for what again?
Well, the goal is to have zero emission equipment at our terminals by 2030 and zero emission trucks by 2035. So I believe as it relates to trucks, we're going to get there before 2035.